If you are a homesteader, or you are thinking about moving to the country, you've clicked on the right video, because I'm about to share the top 10 tools that I simply could not live without. In fact, leave me a comment with your most essential tools, and we'll see how many of yours end up being on my list. And make sure you stick around until the end, because my number one tool may surprise you. Let's jump right into it. Coming in at number 10 is a T-post driver. Now you'll be hard pressed to find any homestead that doesn't have some T-posts lying around. And it's because they're so versatile. They're the cornerstone of any rural fence, but they can also be used as a garden trellis, anchor some fruit trees, or even serve as a bookend to your wood stack. When I installed my first garden fence, I thought I could just go to the store, buy some T-posts, and use my old trusty hammer and just bang them into the ground. Thank God nobody saw me trying to do that, because they may have deported me back to the city. And boy, am I glad I learned what a T-post driver is, because even when you have the right tool for the job, it's a workout trying to get those posts set. Okay guys, coming in here at number 9 is a generator. And when you first lose power on your homestead, you'll quickly learn how vulnerable you can feel, especially if you're still afraid of the dark. For some people, electricity is the only utility on your property, and when it goes down, everything goes down. Now, if the outage is widespread, you may have to survive days without power. This could mean no running water if you are on a well and don't have an outside hand pump. That half a cow you've got sitting in your freezer could spoil, and it could even mean no heat during a bitterly cold winter. Even if you never have to use it, owning a generator provides enough peace of mind that it's one of the best investments that you can make. And when I say that, I mean nobody has to find out that you're afraid of the dark. Now, if possible, consider purchasing a dual fuel generator, one that accepts both gasoline and propane, because there's value there in versatility. And I'm not a fan of these Generac style generators in a rural setting. For one, you lose portability, and two, the cost per kilowatt is significantly higher. If you still want whole house coverage, have a manual transfer switch installed where you can manually plug in your generator directly to your electrical panel and still get whole house coverage for much cheaper than what Generac's going to charge you. Okay guys, coming in here at number 8 is a battery charger. Now everyone is familiar with the infamous dead car battery, but on a homestead, we've got a lot more batteries. Mowers, tractors, ATVs, dump trailers. In some cases, if you try to jump these batteries the way you would a car battery, you can actually damage them. Now having the ability to trickle charge a dead battery when you need to can be a lifesaver. And these modern chargers are fantastic. Most of them will tell you if you have the battery hooked up incorrectly. Unlike jumper cables, where if you do that incorrectly, you can have sparks flying. Coming in at number 7 is a handgun or a rifle. Now, regardless of how you feel about guns, a weapon on the homestead is just another tool. The day will come where you have a suffering animal and you need to end its misery. You could also have pests invading your property or wildlife, threatening the well-being of your animals or even a family member. Home defense is a nice added benefit and something you should consider if you live remotely, but that's not the primary reason I have this tool on the list. So consider adding a compact handgun, rifle, and shotgun to your shopping list. Okay, next on the list and at number 6 is a large socket set. Now this is the only hand tool I have on the list. Spoiler, I put off buying a socket set for years because a quality set can be expensive, and I just didn't work on vehicles enough to justify buying one. And I was cheap. Very cheap. Once you have a homestead to maintain, it's a wise idea to become comfortable working on your equipment. Time and money may not allow you to always call somebody when your mower or tractor breaks down. Having a full standard and metric socket set is going to make your life so much easier. I wish I had bought one sooner, because I use them all the time now. And when my wife comes into the garage and sees me using sockets, she thinks I know what I'm doing. Nice. Enjoying this video? If so, do me a big favor and hit the like button. And how are we doing on this list? Have I named any tools that you don't own yet? If so, let me know down in the comments. Now let's keep going. Coming in at number 5 is an axe or a log splitter. Now these are two essential tools to have on your homestead if you heat with wood. And there's a pretty big price difference between the two. I recommend eventually owning both, but the order in which you purchase these is going to vary based on your intended use, your budget, and your physical condition. Even if you don't heat your home with wood, splitting fallen trees into firewood for campfires is a nice benefit. And you may even be able to supplement your income selling some split firewood on the side. And if you buy an axe, they just look cool. Throw on a flannel shirt and go walk around outside for a while. You'll feel tough. Nobody has to know you've never swung that axe. Next on our list, and coming in here at number 4, is a chainsaw, which is probably the coolest tool you can own on a homestead. Forget what I said about an axe making you feel tough. There is no better feeling than revving a chainsaw. Now take a look around at all the trees on your property. You are going to go broke if you call a tree service every time you have a blowdown on your property. And if you heat with wood, a chainsaw is a must. even if you source your firewood from outside of your property. Now there are different size chainsaws depending on your application, and my advice is to start with a quality brand name mid-size saw so you can tackle a wide range of jobs. Those big chainsaws certainly look cool, but it's probably not a good idea for your first purchase. I thought this was a video on the top 10 tools that made you look cool. Coming in here at number 3 is a landscape trailer or a dump trailer. Now admittedly, this is a tool that I still do not own, and I'm reminded on a weekly basis how much easier life would be if I had one. Things like hauling brush, mulch, gravel, firewood would be so much easier with a trailer. You can save money in the long term with a trailer because you can avoid delivery charges and also buy your material in bulk. So not only is a trailer a quality of life improvement, it's also an investment. Did I convince you? Because that investment talk only comes out when I'm trying to convince my wife it's a good idea. It hasn't worked yet. Okay guys, we only have a couple left, and coming in here at number 2 is a pickup truck. I am so adamant regarding the importance of this tool that I really struggled not making this the number 1 tool for your homestead. And I gotta give my wife credit here. She's the one who demanded that a pickup truck be our first homestead purchase. Those trailers we just got done talking about are best pulled by a truck. And as tempting as it may be to try to save some money, make sure you buy a truck that has 4-wheel drive, especially if you live in an area with snow. Country roads don't get plowed as nicely or as quickly as main roads do. So if you need to save a little bit of money, avoid all the frilly interior features and put your money towards power. You'll be using your truck for hauling feed bags, firewood, brush, tools. Don't be trying to start a homestead with a Prius, where your neighbors might think you'd be dumb enough to use a hammer on a T-post. You've stuck with me and learned about 9 tools that I could not live without on my homestead, but it's time for my number 1. And as I told you at the start of this video, you might be surprised. My number 1 tool that I could not live without is a lawnmower. Whoa, hear me out. Day 1 on your homestead, the grass is going to be growing, and potentially a lot of grass is going to be growing, unless you move in during winter. But you've got 6 months at best, buddy. The clock's ticking. A push mower is out of the question, and a riding mower from a big box store probably isn't going to cut it. You're going to be looking at garden tractors, zero-turn mowers, or a tractor with a belly mower. There is so much to do on a homestead, and even if you enjoy mowing, there are probably better things you could do with your time than wasting half or a full day sitting on a lawnmower. So invest in a tool that's going to make this chore more efficient. Now this could end up being the most expensive tool on the list, especially if you buy a tractor. Now while we're on the topic of efficiency, a tractor is the best force multiplier that you could buy for your property. You'll be completing jobs in a fraction of the time and looking really cool while doing them. Yes, I knew this was a list of tools that would make me look cooler. What's that, you ask? What else does it take to run a homestead? How did he hear me? Well, I'm glad you asked. Check out this video next for all kinds of homesteading tips and advice for moving to the country.